Because tokkuri are usually quite big and heavy, it's very difficult to know if there's any sake left inside or not. But these are regarded as taboos. I've actually done this one many times before when I was younger. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. Drinking Japanese sake might be one of the things that you're most excited about experiencing when you visit Japan. Japanese sake, or nihonshu in Japanese, is Japan's original alcoholic drink that is made from its carefully cultivated rice, delicious water, and techniques that have a history of over 1,000 years. Surely, enjoying Japanese sake is a great way to feel the culture, history, and the beautiful nature of Japan. However, because it has such a long history, there are some rules that you should follow in order to look more polite when you drink sake and enjoy it in its best state. So today, I would like to introduce the 5 taboos when enjoying sake. However, all 5 of these rules are just a way to care for others who will be drinking together with you, and they are not mandatory. A lot of Japanese people don't know about them and make mistakes, and that's why it's taught in Japan too. My wish is that more people can relax and enjoy the culture without being worried about being rude. それでは本日も日本酒を飲んで参りましょう。Would you like some sake?
Yes, please.
Okay. One, pouring sake with your palm up. First, let's start from a rule about pouring sake to someone, which is considered a very important form of communication when you drink sake with others. There are many different utensils for drinking sake, but here I will be focusing on the most common, tokkuri. When you pour sake into a cup with a tokkuri, be sure to not have your palm up, but down. Also, it'll be even more polite if you use both hands. 1. Hold the body of the tokkuri with your dominant hand and keep your other hand near the spout. 2. The tip to pouring neatly is to start off gently, then fast, and gently again. Be careful not to hit the edge of the cup. 3. After pouring, lightly turn the tokkuri towards yourself to avoid sake dripping from the tip. There are many theories as to why pouring with your palm up is considered a taboo. 1. This is how the helper would pour water to purify his katana that he will use to cut the head off of the man who is going to commit seppuku. 2. This is how restrained criminals would be fed water. 3. This is how the usual prostitutes poured sake to their customers. By the way, if you were to pour sake directly from a bottle, it's best to keep the label facing upwards as well, so that you don't accidentally get them wet. Would you like some sake?
Yes, please.
Okay. Two, not holding the cup when someone is pouring sake for you. Next, let's take a look at the side of the person that's going to have someone pour sake for them. You must always hold onto the cup when someone will pour sake for you. And again, this will also be more polite if you use both of your hands. Use your dominant hand to hold the cup and your other hand to gently support the bottom of the cup. By the way, have you ever wondered why the basic sake cups called ochoko are so small? It's because the temperature is a very important factor of sake that changes its flavor. If you take a look at this chart, there are 10 different tastes that you can enjoy in just one kind of sake according to the temperature. So by drinking from a smaller cup, you can enjoy and finish your cup of sake with minimum temperature change. However, depending on the kind of sake, they are sometimes served with larger cups or wine glasses to make them taste better. So it really depends on what sake you're having. Would you like some sake?
Yes, please.
Okay. Three, pouring until the cup is full. If you pour too much into the cup, it's very difficult to drink, and there is a high chance that that person will spill the sake. Because the cups are so small, you might want to give the person more sake, but be sure to only pour about 80% of the whole cup. So, we talked about the 3 rules regarding pouring sake. And again, it's a very important form of communication when you drink sake with someone. However, as we discussed earlier, these sake cups are very small. So if you try to pour sake to the other person every time he or she drinks, you will probably not be able to do anything else. It's best to just pour each other the first 2 to 3 cups. And after that, you can just pour your own sake so that you can focus more on the conversation and meal. By the way, there's actually a kind of sake utensil that you overfill on purpose. It is called orikoboshi, and there is a high chance that you'll be served these at Japanese restaurants. It is served in this style to show the generosity of the restaurant by pouring more than can fit inside the cup. But I'm sure many of you would think, how the heck am I supposed to drink this? This is actually something that troubles a lot of Japanese people too. So I'd like to explain one of the examples of drinking from a morikoboshi. 1. Sip from the glass without picking it up until you can lift the glass. 2. Pick up the glass from the box called a masu. 3. Wipe the bottom of the glass with a hand towel. 4. Drink the sake in the glass. 5. The sake left in the masu, you can pour into the glass or drink directly.
Here is your sake.
Oh, thank you very much. Four, adding sake in one tokkuri to another. This is something that people tend to do when they've ordered a second tokkuri with the same sake at a restaurant. Because you don't want a lot of tokkuri on the table, you might just want to put the leftover sake into the new one that just arrived. However, this is considered a taboo because again, the temperature highly affects the taste of the sake. If you add old sake into a new tokkuri, you and the others will not be able to enjoy it in the state the restaurant has prepared for you. Because the spouts of the tokkuri are usually very small, there is a high chance of spilling the sake on the table too. Five, shaking and peeking into the tokkuri. Because tokkuri are usually quite big and heavy, it's very difficult to know if there's any sake left inside or not, especially once you start getting drunk. Then sometimes you tend to shake the tokkuri or peek inside to check if there's any left. But these are regarded as taboos. I've actually done this one many times before when I was younger. It's simply because it's thought of as a vulgar act, just like you shouldn't swing around a wine bottle. Especially if you're drinking hot sake, shaking the tokkuri will cause it to cool down when there's actually some left. If you want to check if there's any left, it's best to simply try tilting it over a cup. Then lastly, today's conclusion. I introduced 5 taboos of drinking sake. 1. Pouring sake with your palm up. When you pour sake into a cup with a tokkuri, be sure to not have your palm up, but down. Also, it'll be even more polite if you use both of your hands. 2. Not holding the cup when someone is pouring sake for you. You should always hold onto your cup when someone is pouring sake for you. And again, this will also be more polite if you use both your hands. 3. Pouring until the cup is full. Be sure to only pour about 80% of the whole cup, so the sake doesn't spill and it isn't hard for the person to drink. 4. Adding sake in one tokkuri to another. You will not be able to enjoy it in the temperature and state that the restaurant has prepared for you. 5. Shaking and peeking into the tokkuri. This is thought of as a vulgar act, and especially if you're drinking hot sake, this will cause the sake left in the tokkuri to cool down. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you thought, Shogo, were you really using sake that looked more like water? Please hit the like button to help me boost this video to more people. And my goal is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, so your help would mean a lot. In this channel, you can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. To learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. And please check out our sub-channel and membership through the link inside the description box. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。I hardly drink any alcohol anymore right now, but when I was a university student, I used to drink a lot of alcohol with my friends, my university friends. I think at worst times, we would like drink, I don't know, maybe like 12 bottles of beer, like 3 or 4 days straight or something. Yes. Come to think of it now, I was very young and I will definitely never do that again.